Hey everybody, glad you decided to join me once again. I'm making good on my promise. I am doing the second/third video of these repairs that I mentioned to you. The previous video I installed some very good quality filter caps in place of the originals that came with this build kit, and I have since checked these capacitors on a meter that can somewhat give an accurate, somewhat accurate measure. And these caps have drifted a little bit, and they're brand new. But we got some good old F&T capacitors in this tube amp now, this 5E3 circuit tube amp build kit from StewMac. The amp is sounding great. Oh, there's no audio. You know why? I didn't film it because I was super tired, but not long ago, last night as a matter of fact, I actually put in a standby switch. It's one of the things I was talking about getting around to. It's a double pole, double throw, certain type of switch. It's actually called an on-off-on switch, or off-on-on, something like that. Anyway, it's a certain kind of switch. It's not your normal toggle switch. It's just something you got to check out on the internet for yourself. So now with this amp, it didn't originally have a standby feature, but now it does. So the light is on back here. I don't know if you can see that, but the amp is on. I've got voltage going to the heaters of all the tubes, but the B plus is not, the high power is not going to the power tubes and all that just yet. Now it is, since I've got that switch in here. So just a little upgrade. Let's see how it sounds real quick. So let's cut the amp off, and we'll talk for a minute about what we're going to do to finish out the modifications on this 5E3 amplifier. Let me get rid of this guitar and I'll be right back. Okay, so the rundown is like this. This is another mod that we can do to this type of amplifier without drilling any holes. I haven't drilled the first hole in this chassis. All of these holes are just come stock with the amp, and the one that we're going to use in the chassis today is actually what used to be the old ground switch. As a matter of fact, the switch is there, but there's nothing hooked to it, because these days you have a three-prong cable that provides ground, and there's a difference there. But anyway, so this potentiometer is going to replace where this old ground switch is. Okay, and StewMac just threw that switch in there just basically to fill up, that cavity there. So this is a 1 mega ohm audio taper CTS pot. This is a Fender brand, but we're just going to add what it's called. It's a long name, but it is a post-phase inverter master volume modification. Okay, it is called the Type 3, and I have drawn out here. You can get maybe a screenshot of this and move my fingers. We could see all of my chicken scratch. But this is just all the information. This drawing is not correct as far as the layout for the 5E3. It's just what I got from a book that I was looking at to do this modification. So don't be thrown off by the drawing so much. It's going to allow us to still get that, you know, that tweed sound, you know, that beautiful breakup if we want it, but we can have it at a much lower volume. Let's get this thing turned around, take the back panel off. What's the first thing we're going to do? Safety check. We're going to make sure there's no high voltage between those tubes, filter caps, all that good stuff. And then we're going to proceed to get into the surgery. So let's go. So I got the idea of, already had these sitting around, but these are some, they're metal, and then they're backed with some rubber, like a rubber washer in the back. But you have this, you know, this metal surface on the front. And I thought it looked really good on the, you know, with the screws on this back panel. And we're going to even put 4 more of these little metal and rubber washers on these screws with this back panel too, by the time we get done, if I don't forget. We are unplugged. And if you want to, you know, one thing you can do while you're working on something like this, just put that cable right there under the handle. That way, you know, it's important for you to know if you're qualified and all that to work on these things, that it's not plugged in. And you can even double check, you know, cut the power switch on, so you know. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, I think you can see that. So we're going to ground. Okay, and I always hook to one of these filter caps. We got 11 volts showing there. So let's ground our discharge cable. This is homemade. And then we're just going to make contact with the positive side of the filter caps, and you can see that voltage going right down. And so this, as you can see, this switch wasn't hooked to anything. It's still a good switch, so we're not going to throw it away. Okay, real quickly, I wanted to show you from the top side. Now this is a new chicken head knob. We're going to replace all of these with these cream ones. But this is how I got the new switch set up. This will be the master volume pot. I've got this main washer, this thick washer that came with the old switch, and then there's a little thinner washer that I got from just a pack here of parts, of the spare parts that I've got, on top of that main washer, and then the nut that you tighten down. Up here where the lugs are facing the back panel of the amplifier. And so we'll look at our wiring next. This is the schematic for the StewMac 5E3 build here. And here we're coming off from a phase inverter. The plate goes to one of our power tubes, and the cathode of that phase inverter part of the 12AX7 goes to, let's make sure, where does it go? It goes to the cathode from here goes to the other power tube, the other 6V6. Alright folks, there's been some developments, and I went by this diagram here, which is plainly showing going into the power grid leaks, or the power tube grid leaks, those 220K resistors, which again, you know, going by the schematic, those tie in the two resistors that are going to the power tubes. So I'll be honest with you, I just wasn't sure what to do. So I went what I felt was the safest route. and I'll show you in a minute what I did. But anyway, I know the speaker's not facing you, but I'm just letting you hear. Loud. It's loud, man. What I find interesting with this modification is that I've got the volume pot for this channel, the bright channel, sitting at about 2.5 on the dial. The master volume is actually turned up more, but when I bring the master volume pot down, here's what happens. Well, cool. Well, it's not doing it now. Let me cut the channel's volume up a little bit to say 3. Now let me back the master volume down. Distortion right off the bat. I mean, and it's creamy distortion. This kind of stuff you think you need a pedal for. But now let me cut the master volume up a little bit and it clears up. So that's strange. Cutting the master volume up cleans it up a little bit, and backing the master volume down creates that tube drive distortion. So that's just amazing. So yeah, that's a win. We're gonna leave that in there. Oh yeah. Let's just I gotta let these tubes cool down. I think both of these tubes are microphonic. So here's our our master volume switch mounted securely up top. Okay, and you can tell how it's oriented. And I color coded them with a magic marker just so I wouldn't get confused. But this lead goes from the outer lug over to the first. Now this is looking at the back of the amp, which would be the left. So the furthest left power tube grid leak resistor, this junction here, and then the middle, which is a wiper lug. I got that gray band there. It goes to the terminal, the other tube grid leak resistor, right there. So I just want to make sure these connections are real good before I fasten all this up. And so very simple. And two, here's my standby switch that I put in. That was easy too. I just here's the safety fuse, and this side of the switch, it's actually 2 lugs. I don't know if you can tell, but there's 2 different lugs. Just wire one and then wire the other. And then on this other side of the switch, remember this is a special switch, okay? You hook in from the center tap of the B+ voltage, which comes off your transformer, and the other end of that runs to the ground of the original center tap connection. So just check your schematic, and there's nothing complicated about it. So I'm pleased with it. Go back to the diagram that I drew at the beginning of the video that I showed you. I was showing you thinking I was going to, and that's what they have. This is from the Trainwreck Pages article section of that book. They've got you branching in, hooking into the actual power tubes, or the leads that go to pin 5. But in this case, those 1500K resistors are on the power tube sockets. So I didn't feel safe going that route, so what I did was I hooked in here to these two 220K resistors in the circuit, and it works fine. Like I said, it's crazy, but you turn the volume up a little bit on the channel that you're running. And this is one thing that's wonderful about the Tweeds, especially the 5E3. You can actually turn the other channel's volume up and down, and it will change the texture a little bit. But you can turn the channel volume up, turn the master volume up, and it'll clean up a little bit. But you cut the master volume down, and it just gets this creamy, muddy. Man, it's a good sound when and if you want it. Okay, it's there for the taking. So yeah, we're good to go. I really think I'm just going to leave those wires alone. I'm going to make sure the terminals do not touch, so fanning them out just a little bit from each other. I still got my safety thing in place. Kind of spruce it up a little bit. Yep, I think it's good. The tubes are cooling down, so it don't hurt to move the amp as much. All right, so let's take our safety apparatus off. Now, remember I told you we were going to add these little metal and rubber washers to these as well. Hey baby, I'm almost through. I'll come up and spend some time with you. She misses me when I'm not around. That looks good. Ooh, check it out. All 4 new chicken head knobs. So that's our master volume. And somebody just looking at it wouldn't know what this volume knob or knob is for. But this here opens up a lot of different sound options for you. So not only is this amp already, built with some interaction here that makes this thing unique, but so does that master volume now. So thank you to those people who thought this stuff up, did a lot of research, and I have to say this is probably the neatest amplifier that I've ever come across, So real proud of my faceplate there. Osborne StewMac 59 Tweed 5E3, crank it for Christ. God bless you. Thank you for endeavoring this with me, but I hope you have not only been sort of entertained with my mishaps and all, but I also hope that you take this seriously, because I'm serious about this, but I like to have fun too, like to be safe. But hopefully you got an amp like this and you want to do some mods, maybe this can help you. But again, Always observe very carefully safe practices. And if you're not qualified or you don't feel comfortable, please have a professional tech do these things for you. So again, check us out later when we upload other content or watch some old things that we've put up. And as always, thank you and God bless. We'll see you next time.